I'm going to ask Annie O'Gara from the coalition to come up and say a little bit more about what the council is or is not doing now.
Thank you. Alexei has said the things that we can do, and with people like Alexei in the council and some of the new councillors and existing councillors, we must believe that we can change the complexion of this council. I'm going to mention two things that will need our work and will need the support of every single councillor to get it through. In March, quite a few weeks ago now, a petition of 7,500 people gathered in less than 2 weeks was put to the council, to the full council meeting. We wanted it to be voted on. It was about making Sheffield an apartheid-free zone again, like it was in 1981 in the days of South African apartheid, a proud heritage for this city. Councillors fought hard to get the vote on that petition, and they were denied by the leadership. It's been kicked into the long grass of the Strategy and Resources Committee. That committee, we have no idea when it will meet, and the next time that we can ask a question in full council about it is June. So that is one thing that we have to push and push very hard for that petition to be discussed fully and accepted. The second thing is to do with the code of conduct for councillors. All professions have got a code of conduct. I adhered to mine as a teacher. It sets professional standards of speech and action when you're working in your public capacity. Everybody should live up to it. However, the coalition was obliged to put in a formal complaint about the words of one councillor in the Strategy and Resources Committee when he gratuitously insulted the coalition, a reputable and responsible organisation of close to 30 Sheffield groups, saying it would be morally repugnant to join us. He then went on to say things about the Palestinians through an analogy which I think are arguably racist. We lodged a formal complaint. We referred to the code of conduct in detail, which says that you must speak respectfully and that all councillors have the responsibility to enforce the code of conduct in office. However, in that meeting, that councillor was allowed to speak with the leader of his party sitting at his side, and that leader didn't bat an eyelid. The chair of the, shame indeed, the chair of the committee made a very weak comment at the end. It wasn't a rebuke. He didn't say this language is unacceptable in any council office. He let him get away with it. No councillor in that committee raised a point of order. The whole thing was a disgrace. And when we submitted the complaint, the answer that came back was that the complaint was dismissed. This councillor was allowed to say that under Article 10, but he wasn't just acting as a citizen, he was acting as a councillor under the Code of Conduct. And disgracefully, this particular councillor has got form because he has insulted another councillor using the council's email system, and that person has lodged a complaint and hasn't even got the rejection that we got. So I would ask every councillor here present to think about the code of conduct and why it matters. It really matters. Councillors must speak respectfully to and about each other and to and about the citizens who are their electors. And at the minute, I believe that the leadership of the council, the people who dealt with that complaint, have awfully let down the standards of that code of conduct. And we will be writing to all the councillors about this because we feel action has to be taken about this to restore the sense of Sheffield City Council as a place where standards matter and where things like a petition from 7,500 people about the biggest injustice of the modern age has to be faced, has to be embraced, and they have to stand up for justice. Otherwise, what's the point? So please look out for those issues. They'll be in the newsletter this week, and I ask all our councillor friends here present and elsewhere, stand up for the code of conduct, stand up for the petition.
Well done.
Thanks so much, Danny. We reject the dehumanisation of the Palestinian people. We reject anti-Palestinian racism, and we reject that in our council. I'm going to ask Kais to speak in a moment, but just a couple of things. If by any miraculous chance you're not already getting our newsletter and or seeing our broadcast channel, there's a big board with a QR code, and if somebody could bring it up to the front, please.